Aujourd'hui, je vais parler de some meal ideas that or really, I should say, we here, since wifey's a great cook, have gained a good mastery for. Okay, I mean, so much so that we barely feel the urge to purchase them at the dine-in type of restaurants anymore. Ayo, Zempak here. So over the course of the last few years, what with me retiring early and the whole global pandemic, shut-in phase and all, I guess the silver lining is that I think generally everybody got more interested in cooking their own food, right? I know personally my acquaintances have expressed their massive shock at my level of improved cooking competency level, okay? Now, my wife was always more interested in cooking earlier than me, so between the two of us, oh boy, I'd say we do pretty well cooking at home at this point. What I have noticed recently, aka the last year or two though, in the post-COVID world, is that one of the unexpected upsides of increased cooking competency is just that we are much less likely to look for restaurants specializing in certain types of foods or meals, okay? So today I got a short list of items that we no longer really go looking for at restaurants, simply because, well, we can approximate the same level of yummy goodness at home. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying I won't go eat these out of the house ever, because dining out isn't just about the food itself, right? I hope everybody understands that I'm totally willing to splurge on very high-end food, but those are for special occasions, okay? I'm just talking about the old, if you feel lazy and don't want to cook, let's go out type of restaurant slash meals, okay? Believe me, there are definitely some types of dishes that I absolutely would go out to get, right, to dine in to get, but that's a different story for a different day. Today we'll just talk about what meals are easily replicable at home, at least our home. Therefore, also a great way to save a bunch of dough in the process. Value! So, if you enjoy some random rants from a dude with clearly no production skills, like, subscribe, share, comment, or whatever. I'll be great regardless, because I just do these for funsies. Hit that bell icon. I don't know where that is, but you should do that, because, YouTube or whatever, okay? Yes, casual hypocrite about these minor internet details. Number one type, okay? I would say pasta-heavy dishes, okay? This one I think is the most common dish type, at least we just don't go out looking for anymore. Don't get me wrong, my wife loves talking about how much she loves Olive Garden, okay? But that's because of her childhood nostalgia. And frankly, we barely ever go to that restaurant, despite all this professed love. So the reality, though, is that pasta dishes served at most regular or mid-level restaurants are just, pretty easy to copy, okay? My wifey makes a really great mushroom sauce alfredo, basically, that she's worked on over time, and now she's branching out into other ingredients, such as some red sauce. She also makes her own pesto, which really makes great pasta sauces, okay? The reality is that most pasta dishes are 80% pasta, okay? So literally the cheapest ingredient on any menu. And yet pasta dishes are entree level priced most of the time, okay? So it's just not worth the money, according to me at least. It's especially not worth the dining out markup, considering that there's not a lot of extra cooking technique that goes into making pasta reasonable. I'm not talking about super high-end, just reasonable, okay? I get it, to make good pasta at home, it still requires practice, and it still requires iteration, and even sometimes actual cooking time, right? But it sure helps with the ingredient itself. It's very cheap, right? So anyone can feel relatively safe to try and cook it and, recreate whatever pasta dish that actually you like that you've had somewhere else, right? Just try it. If you mess up, it's okay. Try again. Now, the next thing we realize that we mostly make better at home, so now willfully ignore ordering at restaurants is, okay, this is getting a little specific, okay? That's mussels and fries. We love this dish. We've had it at restaurants while we were in our corporate careers plenty of times, but that's only until we learned this is a dish that is really easy to make at home, okay? Mussels are literally the cheapest seafood you can buy at most supermarkets that I've seen, so that definitely helps. And the generic sauce for mussels and fries is just kind of some sort of white wine reduction, and it's pretty easy and quick to make. for me, the only tricky part to this meal is actually the fries, and I wasn't sure whether I should include it when I talk about it here, right? Because we don't have a deep fryer, so our home fries are never going to be very crispy or as crispy, because ours comes out of the oven. Now, next to a burger, I would say the level of crispiness, like, it wouldn't qualify as restaurant worthy. But for mussels and fries, I think the equations are a little different. One of the main appeal of mussels and fries is that you can dip the potato product into the mussel sauce. And for me and wifey, at least, when we do a lot of dipping, the actual exterior crispiness becomes less of an issue, right? Also, as an alternative, instead of fries, you could just go get some kind of bread that you like to dip in the same mussel sauce. And there's plenty type of frozen baguettes products that can approximate an absorbent carb bomb of a product to help soak up that delicious sauce. So all in all, if you can get your hands on some reasonably fresh mussels, my guess is that it would take less than a handful of attempts to perfect a very good facsimile of this unique dish at home that can rival any regular restaurant's version. So yeah, go for it and try it. Finally, and this is a big one, okay? Due to our increased cooking skills, drum roll please, we no longer go to restaurants looking for steak. Yeah, that's right. I gotta give wifey all the credit here. She's the grill master of the household. She's really perfected grilling medium rare steaks. I have to admit, as a value shopper at heart, when she first, was proposing to me buying prime steaks at $20 or more a pound, I was, my heart skipped a beat, especially when I know I could get like something like beef cheeks for only like $4 a pound. But then I had her steak and I was totally convinced of the heaven that is a prime ribeye steak, okay? I also realized that I had to compare prime steak not to other supermarket beef cuts, but to how much I would pay for the steak at a steakhouse, right? And frankly, due to how generally high-end steakhouses are compared to other regular restaurants, I'd say the dining option is at least 3 times the price that we would pay at home. And what I've learned from my wifey about steak is simple, right? Mostly she's just perfecting her technique, using quality ingredients, and that's how the flavor really shines through. Obviously, this is the opposite end, and we'll be talking about when it comes to pasta, right? If you love steak, though, you gotta bite the bullet, and you gotta buy higher price ingredients, and you have to spend time perfecting your technique through different iterations, right? So there's less margin of error since the ingredient cost is relatively high. But don't skimp out on that pricing, okay? I'm only a recent convert to the Temple of Steaks, but as a meat lover in general, yes, there's a huge difference to me, anyway, in terms of taste between the quality of steaks from like choice to prime, okay? So you can't skip an ingredient part for once. Anyway, obviously I love food. I'm gonna get fat or die trying. But I'm also pretty frugal and I love value. Luckily, I do have the luxury of time. So yes, I recognize I am incredibly lucky in that sense. Still, pasta, mussels, and steak, okay? All relatively quick to make. And I would say I'm obviously ignoring some side dishes here, such as mashed potatoes. That could take longer than how long it takes to make a steak. But hey, do you guys love to eat and can make what's good enough that maybe you've gotten compliments on? I mean, I'm also lucky to have my wifey who's just great at cooking, so I get to just compliment her all the time. Really save some money as well on those steakhouse visits, right? That doesn't hurt, right? Or am I off my rockers? Does the internet believe that these dishes I mentioned simply cannot be beat at some of their favorite haunts of theirs? If so, I'd like to hear where you get these dishes, okay? Cheers. I'll approach it.